Hello and welcome to this episode of the Star Wars Generations podcast. I'm joined today by the lovely Alex Corman.
Hi.
And it is just the two of us. Matthew is on the road this weekend, living it up, having a life, unlike us. So here we are, talking to you guys.
I resent that. I have a great life.
No, me too. We're not traveling, that's all I'm saying. But
Yeah, so true.
yeah, so this week we're talking about Bad Batch episode 5. What did you think?
Yeah. So.
Actually, no. Plot summary.
Okay, plot summary. Essentially, we open up on that ocean island, which name I can never remember.
I don't know at this time.
Okay, it's the island where it's kind of their safe spot, safe haven. And we see that Crosshair is trying to practice with AC on how to try to get his sniping skills back. All the while, Omega's chatting with Hunter and Wrecker. Wrecker is like, Omega trusts Crosshair. I trust Crosshair. Hunter's like, I don't trust Crosshair right now. Yep. You can tell that like some things have to be fixed. Omega goes and chats with Crosshair for a bit, and then Echo shows up. And together, they're trying to get Namaste's datapad to work again, so they can try and figure out where Tantus is.
What did you say?
Free the remaining clothes. What?
Who's datapad?
Not Namaste. I always get them mixed up,
it's
man.
Nala Say. It's just funny because you made it like one word.
Okay, well.
Sorry.
Yeah, her. So they're trying to get her datapad to work so they can find where Tantus is and free all the remaining clones. But they need to find a Imperial terminal in order to do that. So Crosshair's like, I know one with minimum security, a.k.a. the icy hellhole where he murdered an Imperial officer last season and was then taken into custody.
Also,
and lost some clone brothers. What?
Excuse me. Also, where we met Commander Mayday, King of My Heart. Please continue.
R.I.P. though.
Of course, R.I.P. It doesn't need to be said. Of course.
Okay. Well, so they end up. Well, thank God. Hunter is like, you stay here, Omega and Wrecker. And she's like, no, we just got the band back together. We're not splitting them up. And I was like, thank God, another stupid diversion. So all 5 of them go together to this weird ice planet and discover that it's been fully abandoned since the last time that Crosshair was there. And they go inside and they're like, all right, there's some sensors on the perimeter to kind of keep raiders out. But Crosshair's like, I dealt with all the raiders, so we're fine. It's like, all right, we got to divert all the power from these sensor beacons to the main hub here so we can get this datapad working. They do that, and to absolutely no one's surprise, similar to how it was in Rebels, those sensor beacons were keeping other animals out. And so these massive worm creatures...
it's literally called worm. It's a worm.
Yeah, it is massive.
W-Y-R-M.
Picture like those fucking creepy crawlers from the base in the Clone Wars where we lost. Did Heavy die there? Whoever died there?
Yeah, that's where Heavy passed away.
Heavy
our
died.
Sweet
Yeah.
king.
So picture that kind of size of worm, and it starts like pulling up and trying to kill them and attack them. The ship starts sinking in the ice, so they're like, well, crap. We have to get the sensor beacon power back up and get that thing outside of the beacon if we're gonna like survive this. So Wrecker goes to the back to get like more power, backup power going. Hunter and Crosshair decide they're going to go and lure with Batcher to lure the worm outside. While they're doing that, Hunter falls through a hole in the ice and has to like go underneath the ice through the tunnels the worm has created, while Crosshair and Batcher track him from above and try and match him and lead the worm out of the barrier. They succeed in this mission, all the while Crosshair eventually like pulls up Hunter, and they kind of have this moment like they basically like, it's that moment we talked about last episode that needed to happen. Mm-hmm. Like they had their like coming to Jesus moment, like Crosshair saved him, he proved himself, proved that he still cares about Hunter. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm sorry, before this they got into a big argument where Crosshair basically said, you're not mad at me, you're mad at yourself because you're the one that let Omega get captured. I warned you and you didn't listen to me. And like big tension. Echo kept trying to push them away throughout all of these different fights, but so Echo is just doing his little lookout. Omega's standing by to like get all the power sorted after Wrecker turns it back on. It all ends up happy hunky-dory because they get the data pad to work. They get information off the data pad. No one dies. They get the worm out. They get the ship out. And we're kind of just ready to roll. And I really appreciate that we are just, first few episodes, getting all this shit out of the way.
Yes.
There is no dragging this shit out. The band is back together. We have everyone trusting each other again. We have a fucking straight line, like, objective. We're going to save the clones. And we have information how to do it now. Now we can just spend the next 10 episodes in the juicy beautifulness that is the Bad Batch.
Absolutely, yes. I left my dog outside, so give me a second.
That's Erin for y'all. Just a dog abuser. She can't hear me right now. Matthew, I hope as you edit this, you really enjoyed this take, but Erin has run away because she's abandoned her dog. I want our listeners to know that it is 51 degrees, so it could be colder than it is. But still, some of animal abuse going on right now. Don't know to what levels. There's a bear on the wall. With the bear on the wall and the dog being left outside, it makes you question the McGowan family. But, now she's running back. I suppose that the animal abuse has ceased.
Whatever. It's been like 10 minutes. It's 50 degrees outside. She's fine.
I just gave a monologue on animal abuse, so you go ahead.
I'm sure you did. Thanks so much. Well,
you're welcome. What did you think?
Yeah, this episode, it's crazy. It's literally everything we said we wanted last week. It is. Mm-hmm. It did it all. And like, God, I was so into this episode. I watched it twice, as I normally do. And I went through and took a ton of notes. Like a ton. A lot of it is quotes because, like, I just love the words that are used. And I didn't want to forget those moments. Dialogue. Some heater of quotes, some heaters. I
also want our listeners to know that Erin did send me a picture of Ponytail Omega and said this is essential to this podcast.
Essential information today before we record, I said. Essential information, and it's this beautiful portrait of Omega.
Okay, keep going. So what are some quotes? Can you lay some quotes on me?
No, we can't get into the quotes yet. That's for later. So, as we see at the start of this episode, you said Crosshair is, training with AZ. But we get, AZ is such a savage. So I guess this is kind of a quote. But, we all know Crosshair is having trouble with his hand. He's having issues aiming and stuff. Which, do you remember what happened to his hand? Was that an injury from the last time he was on that ice planet?
I can't remember if he was injured on the ice planet. It could have been the frostbite of the surviving out there. It also could have been all the drugging and experiments they did on him.
It could just be the torture.
I don't remember. Again, I forgot to do a rewatch of Bad Batch Season 2, so I'm nothing's fresh.
Yeah, me too. It's all good. I thought I'd just ask in case you knew, but yeah, so he's practicing with AZ, and then Omega comes to talk to him, and she goes, oh, this was so funny. She goes, so Shep and Liana found you then? And he goes, their ability to do so is uncanny.
Yeah, it was funny.
I thought that was a pretty good Crosshair. I wish I could do an impression of him, but I'm not even going to try. He's just honestly, these people need to leave me the fuck alone, and nobody will leave him alone.
They're showering that man with love.
Yep, and then she's basically they're showering that man with, sorry, that just sunk in.
Just read the quote now, but I know you want to talk about how she literally calls Crosshair her little brother.
Oh, that's actually not even where I'm going at all.
Oh, okay, you keep going, sorry.
No, it's just, she's basically you can't keep hiding. You need to talk to Hunter. And he's like, I'm not hiding. I'm training. Don't you see I'm busy? And I'm like, okay, Mr. Hide from his feelings. Sure, you're training. And then AZ goes, your average is about 53%. Way lower than your normal.
Yeah, Crosshair's just ugh. I appreciate like Crosshair at no point this episode though he didn't like lash out at anyone. He was just like disgruntled and kind of grumpy, like an old grumpy dad.
Yeah, like he's settling into himself without being super volatile. Obviously, there was a lot between him and Hunter. He did go off on Hunter.
Mostly civil. And you know, I think that like, you know, they all meet up with Echo and everything.
Yes, which we got Echo back. The mother is returned. Mom is home.
Rex. A little grumpy there was no Rex, but
I told all of you that was gonna happen, but
I want Papa Rex back, but but it was good. It was good because like, you know, Crosshair tried to make a joke. He goes, "Where's my hug? No hug for me." And Echo was like, "It depends how good your intel is." Like Echo doesn't fully trust him yet. Mm-hmm. Hunter doesn't fully trust him yet. And Wrecker just trusts him because Omega trusts him, and Wrecker will literally die and kill 1,000,000 men for Omega.
Correct.
So Wrecker, I think it's just like he's like, I just want the family to be back together again.
Yeah.
Like Wrecker even, I had a little moment when Wrecker was like, it never felt right to get rid of it, and then hands Crosshair his old armor.
That was
and it's
so
like,
sweet.
I kept this for you, basically. Like,
literally.
And Wrecker, you could tell Crosshair like it like meant something to him. Like Crosshair put the armor back on. I was like, finally, the OG armor is back.
It was so good. Oh my God. I was so hype looking at his suit again. Like, just, and I forgot how menacing his armor is, but it just really is.
Yep.
So that was really fun to see back on him again. But yeah, so Echo's home, and Echo, here's the thing. I stand by what I said about Echo being mom, because all through this episode, we see Echo strategically diverting the like aggression and tension between people to get shit done. Mm-hmm. Like, because for one, they're on the base, you know, and first of all, we skipped over a very important and emotional scene here that happened when they're on the base, and you know, they're kind of dinking around with the data pad before the worm has shown its little face, and Crosshair's just kind of peeking through the base. It looks like he's looking for something, and Hunter's like following him because he's suspicious. But Crosshair finds this room, and he finds Commander Mayday's helmet and a bunch of other clone helmets just like discarded on the floor. And so like he stops and like picks them up and like dusts them off, and it was just like he takes them and starts setting them on top of this box, like placing them in memoriam sort of a way, and he does it to all the helmets. Mm-hmm. And Hunter just is like, what? And kind of like dips. He's like, interesting information. So then shortly after that, Crosshair goes out to like check the perimeter, and Hunter like goes after him, and Omega goes to follow the two of them to be like, let's talk and like work out our problems. And Omega's like, nah, like, or sorry, not Omega. Echo's like, like, leave them. They'll work it out. They always do. Like, you just need to let them be. And that's when the worm came, you know. But, she said, okay. Echo said, you just gotta let them be. That's how Mom Echo is to me.
Yup.
And they go out and they have this conversation. Sorry. Back it up. I have this great interaction that proves how Mother Echo is. Because they were like, why are these perimeters here? And Crosshair's like, they're for the raiders that they need to keep away from the base. And Hunter's like, you didn't think to warn us about the raiders? Crosshair goes, no, they were all dealt with. Hunter goes, and how do you know that? Crosshair goes, take a guess. Just following orders? Crosshair goes, if you're scared, why don't you wait on the ship? And then Echo like steps in, and he's like, hey, kill each other later. We're here for a reason. Let's crack into the data pad and get out of here. Like, come on, kids, fight later. So this is their time later to fight now.
But that kind of interaction, like similar vibe interactions, happen throughout the episode between the two of them.
Yes.
Like it's very like constant animosity. And also I forgot, when you said the sweet moment, I actually thought you were going to bring up some other sweet moment that I forgot to mention, in that it's the first time when they're still back on the ocean planet before they head out on this mission. It's the first time they acknowledge tech, because they're like, cracking this data pad is going to be really hard, especially without tech. Mm-hmm. There's like a moment of silence, and you look around the table and see everyone's faces, and even Crosshair looks like hurt by his loss, and it was like the first time we got to see the entire crew acknowledge that loss, and it was just like a nice little moment that I had wanted to see. I had mentioned wanting to see that acknowledgement, so that was cool.
No, I agree. That was really beautiful because it was just truly a moment of silence that they got to have together and like mourn, and that was beautiful. I'm very glad we got that. Anyways, back to when Crosshair and Hunter are fighting. Their big fight. Crosshair goes, "Oh, don't pretend this is all about me. I tried to warn you, Hunter. I risked everything to send you that message. You ignored it. You let Omega be taken to Tantus. She went through what she did because of you. You failed. You're angry because she escaped with my help and not yours." And Hunter's like, Arthur style, fist in ball. And they're about to like go at it, and that's when the worm comes. It's like the sandworm in Dune, like size comparison.
Similar vibes. Yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, it's a good reference. Yeah, and I mean, I think that like this episode is the last episode of like, you know, something we knew had to happen kind of deal. Like, you know, we knew that like these arguments had to happen. We knew that like they had to get to this point. And now it feels a little more wide open moving forward. Like, the only thing we know is that, like, they're going to return to Tantus.
Yeah.
Like, that is... And, like, obviously, you know, Omega's being hunted.
Yep.
But she's also going to just return there because she wants to free her brothers.
She do what she do.
We know nothing else outside of some spoilery things that existed in the trailer.
Yeah.
That I'm not allowed to talk about because apparently people don't watch trailers anymore.
Which is valid and okay.
I want to talk about it so badly. I'm just... salty.
We'll get there eventually. We'll get there soon, I'm sure.
But we really don't know much about else that's going to happen now. And so I think that, like, this episode to me was really satisfying because it really kind of just, like, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's that, like, we needed. Like, I think there's still going to be some hesitation between Hunter and Crosshair. Mm-hmm. But by and by, like, after, like, the whole encounter with the worm, like, there was a gesture of, like, acknowledgement, of, like, solidarity. It seemed like...
They had, like, a conversation. Like, Crosshair stopped and was like... I thought I knew what I was getting into with the Empire. Like, I thought I was being a good soldier, and that's just not what it was. Like, I've done shit, and I've made mistakes. And it seems like he's about to spiral and, like, go full confessional style. And Hunter's just like, nobody understood what was going on back then. Like, I have regrets, too. You know, all we can do is try to be better.
Yeah.
And that was,
really
like...
feels like
sorry, go ahead.
Forgiveness moment.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like... They've come to an understanding and, like, gained respect, I guess. Yeah. It's just good to see everyone work it out in a, like, nice, cute way. And I kind of liked their argument earlier because we don't really know how Crosshair feels about Omega, but at this point, she's really starting to grow on him. Like, the fact that he, like... sent that message for her in the first place and barely knew her, and then like after all these months, like you got to think this argument, him being mad at Hunter, he's pissed at Hunter because Omega has to be there, you know, like that's exactly how he sees it, which I didn't put that together, that like Crosshair would be sitting in jail like stewing over like, what the fuck, I tried to warn you guys and she's here anyways.
Well, I think that like, you know, I don't know. I always thought that, you know, like, after he killed that Imperial officer, like, something had snapped. Something had clicked. And, like, you know, there had been, like, the entire time, I don't know how you interpret, Crosshair's character, but I never interpreted him, if Matthew was here, I feel like I would get a little made fun of, but I never interpreted Crosshair as fully evil. And the reason I say Matthew would make fun of me, because I always still defend Anakin and every other bad person, but...
No, I mean, I think Matthew would agree that, like, no person is fully evil. Or, like...
No, right. No, for sure. Well, except Palpatine.
Yeah.
Palpatine, that man is through and through evil to the bone. There's nothing... Every other Sith Lord, there is something to go for. Not him. But what I was saying was that, like, you know, throughout this series, you know, you look back and, you know, you remember, like, at... when... Kamino was being destroyed, he literally says, like, you know, you abandoned me. Like, I felt like you guys, I was following orders. I thought this is what we were doing. Like, we're fighting for this side, and it feels like you guys abandoned me. Like, Crosshair felt crossed, abandoned, betrayed. He felt like, hurt this entire time. Like, he's been hurting. I don't think at any point he stopped caring about them, but he let the dogma of the Empire and, the moment and the control of the Emperor and all that stuff, like, kind of, take hold.
And, like,
whether or not the chip had, them trying to enhance the chip had anything to do with it or not. But
yeah,
I think that he still was hurting and cared. And I think that, like, when he finally turned, it was him saying, I'm done with this Empire. I care more about, my brothers, but I've lost them too, so I'm just giving up. Like, I'm just resigning. When he was in that prison, he was a broken man. And I think that, like, this is his opportunity that he never thought he would get to be back with them and to, like, have a second chance at all of this. And I think that he really, like, is starting to love Omega because he appreciates and respects that, like, she's the reason he's getting this chance. Yeah. Like, this girl that he kind of dismissed early on, he's like, well, she is the reason I'm here again. She is the reason we're back together, and he's gotten to see some of her skills and her talents, and even goes as far as to say in this episode, you can handle yourself, basically, is what he said. And
yeah, because she had said
that's what she says. You can handle yourself, but you're still a kid. And she goes, I'm older than you, little brother.
Yeah. And there wasn't even an eye roll. It was a chuckle.
Yeah.
He gave her a chuckle.
I think the two of them are pretty tight, and I think that so, yeah. Omega is the heart warmer. She is the one that melts the ice from the heart.
Always. For everyone.
Yeah, and that worm really broke the ice between the Bad Batch members. Yeah, that's the dad joke of the day. You're welcome.
We miss you, Matthew. Yours are much more natural.
I had the same thought as I said that.
No, but that's a good one. Yeah, I'm excited to see where the batch goes from here. We have so many adventures ahead of us. We all talked about this, but just the concern of, like, I hope we don't take all season to forgive Crosshair, because, like, then we're not going to be getting where we need to go, and it looks like we're going to be getting where we need to go, which leaves more room for the plot, which means leaves more room for them to get the clones off of Tantus, which means leaves more room for them to, skedaddle off happily forever after and not be Rogue One.
Or be Rogue One.
No.
It could be.
That is not canon in my life, so we'll see. Yeah. Great episode. Oh, how could I... Oh, okay, a few things. First of all, Batcher. Love that Lurka Hound. What an icon. I love that, like, because let's see. Last season
the family has a dog now.
The family has a dog. Exactly. And I think it's so cute that the boys, like, take her with them when they go places, and how, I know it was, like, a moment of tension and drama, but, like, Hunter, let's see, let's look at your name. You're supposed to have heightened senses. How did a giant-ass worm pop up right next to you? And you had no thoughts. Batcher knew many minutes ago. Batcher been on this shit. And he's just, like, fighting it out with his siblings. Yeah, so great stuff this episode. It was also very sweet because at the very end, after Crosshair pulls Hunter up from underneath the ice using his rifle, and they run back inside the perimeter, and they're just kind of sitting there for a moment. They have their moment of, like, recognition, a brotherly nod at each other, and they're just sitting there with Batcher for a moment, and Crosshair's, like, absentmindedly, like, petting Batcher, and, like, never would we have seen this before from him. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's so sweet. It's so cute. Throwback, found another quote. So in the episode right after Hunter and Crosshair, you know, get in their other fight about, if you're so scared, you should stay on the ship. Meh, 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 meh. And then Omega goes over to Crosshair and she's like, I said talk to him, not argue with him. Crosshair goes, he started it. I was like, you are a baby. You're being a little kid.
Yeah, and we love that.
It's so good. Men acting like children. This is something we've never seen before.
It shows how like tight Omega and Crosshair are too, I think, and like
absolutely
how Crosshair really is, I think, like melting back and being part of the team, and
yeah,
I think we're gonna get some really good moments between the two of them, and between just like the whole battle. It's just the first time we've had since season 1, since early season 1. Like, I mean, excuse me. Really haven't seen the Bad Batch working as a cohesive unit since the Clone Wars season 7 review of them. Because even from the rip of season 1, like, you know, there was Order 66 issued and Crosshair was kind of, you know,
already on the other side than the other ones.
Yep.
Playing for the Empire team.
Yeah. So, I'm excited.
It's okay because Omega fixed him, which just solidifies in my heart how much that you can fix anybody if you try hard enough.
Oh, I'm going to echo Matthew with some joke about her thinking that she can fix every man.
Anyways, so that was the episode. Lots of good stuff. Hit us up. Let us know what you guys thought. Put your thoughts in the Discord. Let us know if there's anything we missed talking about today, because I had a thought about something just a little bit ago, and it's gone now. So I think I may have had more to say, but that is up to the world now. That is up to the universe and the galaxy to tell us.
Yeah. I'm just curious if they're going to try and just free everyone and then destroy Tantus, or just try and free everyone, and how they plan to free everyone. Is Rex going to be part of this? Is Cody going to be part of this? I really hope this is like we get like, you know, I mean, we saw... I can't say that. We saw a certain individual in the trailer, but I'm hoping that we get. I'm hoping we get a lot of clone captains and folks back together.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see Rex in this. I want to see Cody in this. I want to see Gregor in this. Maybe we actually finally like see how Gregor, you know, gets back with the gang.
Yeah. How did he not die?
Well, we saw him in a Bad Batch episode, I'm pretty sure, didn't we?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't remember where he went from there.
I mean, I think he just went off to
do his own thing.
Stuff with Rex, probably.
With Rex, right.
I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't.
So, hopefully we get him back, we get Gregor, we get Rex, we get Cody. Maybe we'll get, like, you know, Wolf. Maybe we'll get, you know, some other clone folks.
I would love to see Hauser again this season. I would really like that. I
want the whole band working together. It's almost like the clones having their own mini rebel like alliance.
I want the Avengers but with clones. That's what I want.
It's pretty much what's gonna happen. They're gonna like free all their brothers, and they're going to free all their brothers, destroy Tantus, and it's gonna be magical. Is my opinion.
Yeah.
And then they'll get Rogue One.
Matthew, cut that last part out. Oh. Do you want to roll us out, Alex?
Oh, I can try. As always, you can find Matthew and a lot of other wonderful podcast content done by them and other folks at the Ethical Panda, ethicalpanda.com. You can find us on social media, all Ethical Panda handles.
We are also on Instagram it's at SW Generations Pod. Yep. And then I know that we're SWG Pod on Twitter.
Yeah, X formerly known as Twitter, formerly usable.
It's just Twitter.
Also, if you like what we're doing here, if you're enjoying the podcast, consider subscribing, becoming a member. It's dummy dumb cheap, $5 a month, $55 a year. You pay more for a month of cable or internet than you would pay for a year of this podcast, and you get access to bonus content. Like right now, we're going through Star Wars from a certain point of view, story by story. That's a book. We also have member-only content through a Star Wars book club where we do a surprise book every month and we review it. We talk about it as members only.
You also get like ad-free content.
Oh yeah, ad-free content. You don't have to listen to Matthew do any advertising or anyone do any advertising. I think that like it's a pretty good deal, y'all. So consider doing that. You can also find Erin and myself. We both do artsy, fartsy, creative stuff. Erin's a dope cosplayer and ribbon dancer. How do you say? What is the term for that?
Aerialist. It's aerial silks that I do.
Aerial silks. They have some lightsabers. You know, she doesn't know how to make the lightsabers work necessarily, but she does have them.
I'm a lot better at using them lately. And you can find me at Lady Tano Creates on everything. How about yourself, Alex?
Yeah, you can find me at AlexCorman12 on Instagram. All our information is in the show notes as well, in case you don't remember. But check us out. And thank you so much for listening. Members, stick around for our reading of, what's it called? The Rodian...
The Luckless Rodian.
Yeah, stick around for our review of the Luckless Rodian from a certain point of view. But until then, stay classy. Hold on, I gotta redo that one because I haven't picked up my planets yet. Sorry, Matthew. Hold on.
Just come on.
Hold on.
Gotta be snappier.
Okay, I'm ready. Pick a planet. Stay classy, Hoth.
He started it.
And we have spoken because Matthew's not
here. We have spoken.